Well, a mother of 5 in Oregon has filed a federal complaint against officials with the State Department of Human Services because she was allegedly barred from adopting children because of her Christian beliefs about gender and sexuality. Let's bring in that plaintiff, Jessica Bates, and her attorney from the Alliance Defending Freedom, Christiana Kiefer. Thank you both for coming on. We appreciate it. Jessica, so I just want to make sure we got this right. You were turned down because of your beliefs, your religious beliefs on gender and sexuality. Explain that.
Correct. Yeah, I had started the process to adopt and made it through, it took a few months and made it through the Resource and Adoptive Families training. And at the end of that, I let them know that I couldn't support the state's ideology, their views on sexual orientation and gender identity because of my faith. And took a couple months, but at that point, they sent me an official letter of denial on my application.
Yeah, it's amazing. I want to read part of your complaint, Jessica, and then we'll have Christiana kind of respond to this. It says, quoting here, under this rule, caregivers must agree to use child's preferred pronouns, take a child to affirming events like pride parades, or sign the child up for dangerous pharmaceutical interventions like puberty blockers and hormone shots, no matter a child's age, no matter whether a child actually desires these things, and no matter how deeply these requirements violate the caregiver's religious convictions. Christiana, violation clearly of religious freedom here.
You're exactly right. Oregon is essentially using an ideological litmus test. It welcomes people from all cultural and religious backgrounds to adopt, unless they disagree with the state's gender ideology. And barring an incredible mom like Jessica from adopting simply because of her religious convictions clearly violates the First Amendment and hurts children.
And I think, Jessica, that people don't realize these children desperately need homes. They need loving homes. And the state is putting you through this bizarre test because of the way you were raised, because of your religious beliefs?
Yeah, it just doesn't match up. And it's not just Christians. I think Muslims, I think there's a lot of people that have traditional beliefs and views when it comes to sexuality and gender identity, all of that. And so basically it bars anybody that holds those beliefs from helping these kids get a family and get out of the system. Last year, there were approximately 8,000 children that touched on the foster care system at some point. And there's a few hundred that are up for adoption. And it's not going to help get them out of there. It's not advocating for their best interest.
Yeah, the Federalist wrote this, Christiana. It says, when an anorexic teen, this is the analogy, confronts a parent, therapist, or a teacher about his or her anorexia, the compassionate response is not to affirm the dysphoria by calling the child fat with a recommendation for liposuction. That seems to be the new operating standard, however, for children convinced they were born in the wrong body. That seems like a fair analogy because it's so ridiculous that this is happening in Oregon. Your final thoughts?
It is. Oregon, again, is putting ideology and politics over the needs and interests of children. These are children who deserve a loving home. Jessica Bates wants to provide one for them. And the state of Oregon, simply because of her religious beliefs, is discriminating against her. That, again, is wrong and violates the First Amendment.
Yeah. So what, just kind of wrap us up, Jessica, what's the next move for you and what's the next hope?
Well, I guess waiting to see kind of how Oregon responds and just hoping that we'll be able to get this policy amended to make it non-discriminatory and fair and to help get some more kids out of the system or get them into good families.
Yeah. Well, Jessica, best of luck to you. Christiana, thank you for helping out in this case. We appreciate your time and we hope it turns out for you.
Thank you so much.